Myth number one, CIOs can't just hire good people and expect the problem of poor requirements to go away. So I hired all you really great people. It's your job to do the requirements. Just go and do them and make sure they're really good. Well, that's great, but the facts and figures confirm that this is fundamentally untrue. And here's what we found. Lower skilled people in higher maturity companies outperform higher skilled people in low maturity companies. And here we're not talking about outperforming by just a little bit. We're talking vastly outperforming those higher skilled people struggling in low maturity environments. So now some charts and some data. Higher skilled people in the lower level companies is the gold bar. Lower skilled people in high maturity companies is the blue bar. Now the interesting part of this graph is it doesn't show higher skilled people operating in higher level maturity situations because you'd blow the top off the scale. If you get really skilled people in high level maturity organizations, the work that they can do is phenomenal. So let me ask this question, and I don't need an answer. Have any of you highly skilled folks found yourself in a lower performing company? If you did, didn't you find yourself getting very frustrated? It's not simply that others can't replicate what you can do. It's often that there are significant impediments in your way that do not allow you to perform to the level you know you can achieve. You're underperforming, and you know it, and it bugs you. I see this all the time when I go to deliver some knowledge transfer in our training sessions. I once had a lady who came up to me at a break on the second day of a 3-day session and expressed how excited she was about this new way of doing things that I was teaching. She had just joined this company 6 months before and had come from a highly organized company that had really well-defined processes and roles, etc. And that allowed the folks who had to work together to do so efficiently. Now, this new organization really didn't have any defined way of doing things. They had some okay templates, but no procedure manual, if you will, for this lady to follow. The sad part about the story is that I knew that this was a classic case of a company that thought by throwing some training at their BAs, they would magically become not only experts at their craft, but that the whole requirements problem would be solved. Here she was getting excited about the good times to come when I knew that without a whole lot more being done, she was going to run smack into that wall of indifference. Why should we do requirements this way? It takes too long. We've never done it this way before. Why are you talking about our process? When are we going to talk about our requirements? This is a waste of time. Ever heard anything along those lines? You can't just go out and hire good people and expect the problem of poor requirements to go away. In fact, this study showed that you would be much wiser to keep your present crop of analysts and do some other things. They'll outproduce the great folks in the right environment. There's high accelerative effect in the other enablers that make the process work properly. For example, what are the techniques that we're going to use? What's the process from moving, I don't know anything about the requirements for this project, to I know everything that needs to be known? What technologies are we going to use to help support our efforts? How do they need to be configured to yield maximum value in our environment? How is the organization structured? And what do they hold dear as unwavering principles and guidelines for doing this well? What supports are in place to ensure that we're all pulling together, not just across a line of business, but across all projects in the whole organization? These are all important enablers that allow the BAs to function properly and effectively when they go out to do their job. And we need to look at all of them. Myth number 2, requirements are still critical regardless of your development approach. There's another big myth that all you have to do is change from whatever methodology or approach you're using now and adopt some other type of development methodology. So maybe today you're an Agile shop and it's just not working for you, so you move to a more iterative approach. Or maybe you're a Waterfall right now and you've heard a lot about Agile, so if we just make that shift to methodology or approach, then the whole problem about requirements will totally go away. Well, this data, what it's showing is that it doesn't go away, regardless of which approach you adopt. There is an immaterial difference in the performance between the different current development methodologies. As soon as you control for the maturity of the organization and requirements definition and management, there is no significant difference between the efficiency of the performance of one philosophy versus another. If you are making a change to improve, the change result is most likely happening because you're training your people to communicate better between the business and IT as you're rolling out this new methodology. You cannot simply expect a new software development lifecycle and a new approach will make your problems go away. In fact, you may adopt a new one and your problems may actually get worse because maybe you're not making that change successfully.